shanks, the first thing that comes to mind is it has to be falling off the bone. Sheer succulence right in your plate. However, creating this works really well either in a stew or a braise. My lamb shanks and apricot tagine delivers on all notes, and it's so easy to create. Just bring flavors together. Earthy tones with the sharp sense of chili, sesame coming alive right in my Mediterranean kitchen. I pair this often with a chickpea and red pepper couscous just to style it up and have a decadent weekday lunch. Let's get to creating it. While we preheat the oven to 160 degrees Celsius, and this is a workman's lunch where you just dunk everything into the oven for 2 hours and go about doing your work. Out here I've got a kg of lamb shanks, and all we're going to do is marinate it with about a teaspoon of black pepper powder. Season it with some normal iodized salt, so about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. And while technically you can add a heaped tablespoon of Ras Al Hanout, the famous Moroccan spice, or like me, just take 3 tablespoons of this gorgeous tahini paste and scatter it on top. I like to create versions of this, so mix the two together and allow it to sit on the side for about 5 to 10 minutes, and in the meantime get to creating that gorgeous gravy. While you mix this and allow this to sit on the side, into my cast iron I'm just going to add about 25 to 30 mils of extra virgin olive oil. You can use a tagine pot, but a cast iron emulates the same thing in the oven. So as you allow the extra virgin olive oil to get nice and hot, into that goes about 8 cloves of garlic finely minced. As we allow the garlic to infuse in the extra virgin olive oil, quite sharp scents in the kitchen. Here I'm adding about 6 red chilies, fresh, just slit into half because I want the spice and the heat of this creation. A quick saute, and into that goes 3 red onions finely minced. Now while I've kept all these 3 separate, you can just take all 3 and blitz it in your food processor and create quite a mushy indulgence to go into the pan. Another shortcut to this great creation. The earthy tones in this stark creation comes together with about a tablespoon and a half of roasted coriander seeds, just roughly pounded, along with 2 tablespoons of roasted cumin seeds, roughly pounded as well. And this brings the Mediterranean right into your kitchen. Give it a quick saute and allow all the flavors to steep and just slightly saute with each other. While the scents are strong and very, very Marrakesh in nature, you just give it a quick stir, and finally in goes these gorgeous lamb shanks with the marinade and all. Just allow every last dribble of it to fall right into the pan. A quick sear is all that's required, and just let it absorb all the flavors on the slowest possible flame. Now while the lamb shanks are working their magic along with the chili, the garlic, the onions and the tahini paste, into my food processor goes about 800 grams of tomatoes, just quartered because I want to blitz the entire creation together, along with a handful of dried apricots. So just put that in and get to blitzing this to a pulpy consistency to throw right into the tagine. Blitz to the pulpiest of consistencies. This is ready to go right into that tagine. While the lamb shanks have seared beautifully, absorbing most of the flavor, now is the time to add the pulpy goodness of tomatoes and apricots. Just put it in, give all this a quick stir, Garnish it now itself because it's what's required. Add another ingredient just to make it a wholesome, decadent meal, and you're good to go. As you allow all this to mix well, in goes 500 grams of baby potatoes, and potatoes just work along with this, absorbing all of their flavor and gets that waxy interior that's perfect for this creation. And finally, you garnish this, and you need to garnish this with an overload of some cilantro. So about nearly 3 tablespoons of cilantro going in and bursting with herby goodness. A quick stir, and this is ready to go into that preheated oven. I don't want to disturb it too much because I want everything to work together. Maintaining the temperature, and as this comes to a roaring boil, all you need to do is cover it and get it straight into that preheated oven. 2 hours at 160 it is, and it's ready. In the meantime, let's get to creating that bursting with flavor couscous. As the lamb shanks slow braise and slow braise to perfection, it's now time to create that couscous that pairs gorgeously well with it. So into a cast iron goes about 20 mils of extra virgin olive oil, and we're just going to allow it to get hot and sizzle along with about 4 cloves of garlic finely minced. While the garlic sautés in the olive oil, giving it its sharp flavors, in goes 2 leeks finely shredded, and you love how leeks transcend into this dish, giving it that burst of sea green freshness and color. With the leeks well sautéed, in goes 1 red bell pepper just cut into dices, and we're going to allow it to sauté and merge with this green magic inside. While these two cook together, in goes 1 cup of chickpeas that have been soaked overnight, boiled and seasoned, and they just go right in, and all you need to do is give it a quick stir. While I've allowed these to cook on the slowest possible simmer for a good 4 to 5 minutes, just so that all the flavors merge in, it's time now to season with some salt, and not forgetting an overload of some za'atar spice, so about a tablespoon of za'atar spice going in as well. The subtle flavors of za'atar spice is what actually makes this dish pop. And as it sautés together, finally you add in about 500 mils of water and bring this to a roaring boil. Most often couscous is cooked in various different styles, but I like doing everything in a pot. While we bring this pot of goodness to a roaring boil, in goes 500 grams of couscous. And we're just going to switch off the flame and allow it to steep in this creation covered. A quick stir so that everything mixes well together and blooms well rather. And my hearty pot of couscous goodness is ready. Allow it to sit for about 15 minutes, open it up, loosen the grains, and just toss in some parsley. This dish is a perfect dish when you have to juggle between work, family, and cook a decadent spread. Throw everything into the oven for 2 hours and just forget about it. Don't forget the gong of the timer though. While this is ready, all we're going to do is take it out, give it a slight garnish, slightly fancy of some apricots, and we are good to enjoy this. Curious Me is super excited with this gorgeous creation, and if you look closely, the meat falls off the bone. It's a perfect decadent spread. All you need to do is give it a fine sprinkle of some finely chopped parsley, just about a tablespoon, and I like working with my hand here. It's a part of me putting it onto the food. And finally, 6 apricots cut into juliennes go right on top. This decadent spread is ready to be enjoyed with that hearty bowl of couscous that we created on the side. Who would have ever thought that apricots and lamb work well together, right? My apricot and lamb shank tagine is a perfect meal to enjoy either with some flatbread or minted yogurt. Perfect for the weather and the experience. Though lazy me has decided to create a couscous with some chickpeas and bell peppers just to style it up a notch or two. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button, and as always, don't forget to subscribe.